It was the bomb.com, bro. I lived every man's dream. Every man would love to know what it's like to live on an island of women by himself. Hey, yo, check this out. This is Flava Flav, and this is pop culture history, which ain't no mystery. Well, I was just a regular, normal kid, normal human being, you know what I'm saying? Just like everybody else, just growing up through the neighborhoods, man, getting knowledge from the streets, getting knowledge from the older people, you know what I'm saying, that was older than me, all that great stuff. Born and raised in New York, that's right. Born in Freeport, Long Island, raised in Roosevelt, lived in the Bronx 14 years, lived down in Manhattan 4.5 years, lived in Brooklyn over by Eastern Parkway in Saratoga on a street called Park Place for like 2.5 years. Man, your boy been all over the map, G. Before the hip hop movement started, it was, oh man, I can't even describe, I mean, there's a whole bunch of ways for me to describe it, you know? It was a little hard coming up, man, you know what I'm saying? It was a lot different, definitely from today, you know what I'm saying? And back in the days, you know, we used to collect soda bottles and stuff, they were for 2 cents, you know what I'm saying? And that's how we used to get our money. We used to go hustle bottles and cans and stuff. And then when DJing first started, there was no such thing called a mixer. So all we had was the record player and the radio. And when the radio was playing something, we would jam the radio. And then when the record was going off the radio, then we would start turning up the record player and turning down the radio. That was our mixer. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, all of that was part of, you know, life before hip hop really. Man, there was no cell phones, there was no Instagram, there was no such thing as a social media. You know what I'm saying? Everything was just natural. Yeah, well, I met a guy named Chuck D, you know what I'm saying, and Hank Shockley, and, you know, we used to be mobile disc jockeys back in the day, you know what I'm saying? And then we ended up forming a supergroup. Well, I met Chuck and Hank through my boy Son of Berserk. You know what I'm saying? The Son of Berserk was part of a rap group called the Townhouse 3 that was up under their wing. You know, Son of Berserk wanted me to play keyboards on his tape one day that they were making for the radio station. So I went with Berserk up to the studio. That's where I met Chuck, Keith, and Hank at. And we started playing the dozens. You know, back in the days, I was the best at playing the dozens. You know what I'm saying? Hank, Chuck, and Keith was snapping on me by myself.
You say the dozens, you mean like joking on
Yeah, joking, you know what I'm saying? Talking about my moms, my pops, you know, the big hole in the roof, you know what I'm saying? The big roaches in your crib and all of that. So anyway, all 3 of them were snapping on me. They ganged up on me. I took them down by myself. And they fell in love with me. And ever since then, I started hanging out with them. Then we start creating together and everything. And then the rest is history. Here I am, sitting here with you today. Well, my partner, Hank Shockley, he's the one that really came up with the name of the group. You know, we decided to add, you know, some militancy to the group. So that's when we got Professor Griff and his security team, you know, to come join along with us. So that's where Professor Griff and the S1Ws come from. It came from LL Cool J. Back in the day, you know, there was a group called the Afros. And we were going to the Afros video shoot. So LL used to say, yeah, boy. So what I did, to make a long story short, I took the yeah, made it longer. I took the boy and made it longer. That's how it became, yeah, boy. And ever since I did that, that's one of the most sampled lyrics right now in the history of music. Honestly, to tell you the truth, I think he probably was surprised, but he he ain't gonna act like it. You know what I'm saying? In the whole nine, but you know, LL, he knows that that's where I got it from. And I know he's proud of it too. I started from way back in the days when we used to wear stopwatches as a fad. You know what I'm saying? Somebody came through our project selling these shower clocks, and someone put the clock around my neck as a dare. And if you dared Flava Flav to do something, he would do it. So they dared me to wear it during the show. So when we opened up for the Beastie Boys in Passaic, New Jersey in 1986, I wore the clock. And when we got the newspaper clippings back, the look of the clock was dope. I just decided to keep it. And if you look at some of our early Public Enemy photos, you'll see Chuck D wearing a clock too. After the shows, Chuck would take his clock off. I just kept mine on. And this became part of my signature, became part of my identity. I don't go nowhere without it. When I came out to LA, I said, you know what? I'm not going back to New York until I get on television, or until I get in the movies, or something. So I got a homie that was working for the Bernie Mac show. He was an editor for Fox 5. And he's like, Flav, I want you to come down to the Steve Harvey show with me. That's when Steve Harvey had a show called Big Time, you know, and on his Big Time show, he had all different kind of various acts coming through his show. So I went down to the show with him. To make a long story short, they sat me in the aisle seat. Cameras came up on me, you know what I'm saying, showing me. Everybody started blowing up my phone. Hey, Flav, we see you at the Steve Harvey show. I remember Steve Harvey stopping the show, and he said, everybody, I want y'all to know, if it wasn't for that young man right there in Public Enemy, raising our fists in the air, I would not have a show today. I was like, whoa, that was deep hearing that coming from Steve Harvey. But that was my first TV show there. Then the second one was Bernie Mac. God bless him, I miss Bernie Mac. You know what I'm saying? So after I did the Bernie Mac show, then Mad TV with Ari Spears, then my wife and kids with Damon Wayans. Then I got walked into the VH1 office. I went down to the VH1 office one day with my friend. Just went around the whole office. Went to everybody's cube. And next thing you know, here I am getting a meeting to be on Surreal Life 3. So that's where it started, for me being on Surreal Life 3, man. #1 show. It was the bomb.com, bro. I lived every man's dream. Every man would love to know what it's like to live on an island of women by himself. I got to feel that. I got to live that dream, you know what I'm saying? And I was gonna tell you, don't pinch me, because I don't want to wake up from that dream.